obsessed with the movie, whoa. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Heather. If you have seen me before, then you already know that my name is Heather, so welcome back. I get tons and tons of questions about figuring out your sexuality, figuring out what label fits you best, how I figured out that I was gay, and I have made a video about this before, which I will link wherever it is on this screen. But I got a request to do a video about childhood signs that I was gay, I am gay, whatever you want to say. So I decided to do that for this week's video. And before I actually get into that, I just want to say that everybody's journey with figuring out their sexuality is different. And just because these were signs for me doesn't mean that they necessarily are for you. Everyone experiences different things and it'll be completely different for everyone. So don't be alarmed if you experience some of these things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are gay. This is just what sort of tipped me off. I mean, when I went through these things, I never really realized it at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, that was probably a sign for me. But yes, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a sign for you. Anyways, that's enough rambling for me, so let's get into the video. The first sign in my experience was that talking to boys scared me. And no, I am not talking about the normal butterflies that you get when you talk to your crush, nervous jitters. No, I'm not talking about that. I was physically scared of it and avoided it at all costs. When I had to talk to a boy in my class, it gave me so much anxiety, it wasn't even funny. So that should have tipped me off, that I was actually physically afraid to talk to males, but guess I never really picked up on that. But yes, it was bad. It was quite bad. I couldn't do it. I mean, I did it when I had to, but it was very challenging for me, and I avoided it at all costs. My second sign is that I would make my Barbies date each other. I specifically remember one lovely story. I was probably like 11, 10, 12, in that range. I played with Barbies for quite some time, loved them. Anyways, I had Monster High dolls. I don't know if you remember that show. I don't know if it's still a thing, but yes, I had Monster High dolls. I don't remember specifically which ones, but I would make them make out with each other. Thinking about it now, I don't know why I never really put it together that probably meant that I was a little bit curious about females. Yeah, so I would play that they were dating each other and make them kiss each other and stuff. Not the Ken dolls, screw them. No, it was the Barbies. It was the two girl Monster High dolls together, so probably should have tipped me off, but it didn't. My third sign was that I was a little bit too interested in Emily's storyline on Pretty Little Liars. If you don't know, this isn't really a huge spoiler because I feel like it's pretty common knowledge. The character Emily in the show Pretty Little Liars is gay, and she had a whole coming out storyline. She had tons of girlfriends on the show, and I was so into that crap. I would watch it over and over again. I would look up her storyline on YouTube and watch that specifically so I didn't have to watch all the other Pretty Little Liars stuff. And it was my favorite part of that show. And I feel like most people, that wasn't really what they were most interested in. They were interested in the actual storyline of the show, the main storyline. But no, me, I wanted to watch all the scenes of Emily and Maya and all her other girlfriends and her storyline and her coming out and all that. I ate that crap up. I loved it so much. My fourth sign is something that I have talked about before, and it's such a funny story that I like to tell over and over again, so I apologize if you've heard this from me before. But I had a boyfriend in the 7th grade. Boyfriend. We didn't really talk to each other. But I literally avoided him as much as I possibly could. He would like to come to my locker after school and give me a little hug, and then he started giving me a little peck kiss. And I hated it. But I didn't realize that I hated it. I just would try to avoid it at all costs. I carpooled with my friend home from school, and I would make her go freaking so fast so that I could go to my locker and get out of the school before he came to my locker. And then he would text me after and be like, I didn't get to see you after school. Where were you? And I'd just be like, oh, sorry, I had to go really fast, whatever. The fact that I didn't want to spend any time with my boyfriend probably should have tipped me off. Yeah, that's a bit fishy for me, but yeah. Didn't like to spend time with him. Nothing against him. He was a great guy. My fifth sign is that I was never really interested in getting married like most little girls are. Like, I feel like every little girl is like so excited to get married and pick out their wedding dress and find their Prince Charming and all that, and they like daydream about it in their childhood. And I was never really like that. And obviously this isn't necessarily a sign, like I said at the beginning, but I just never really was excited about that until I realized that I'm gay, and now I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to marry Elia and all that. So I feel like that was a sign in my childhood that I never really got that excitement. I never really daydreamed about that like I feel like most girls my age were, if that makes sense. I feel like every LGBTQ plus girl has some sort of teacher story in their childhood, and this is mine. In the 3rd grade, I had the loveliest teacher in the whole, my favorite teacher ever that I've ever had, and she was just so nice, and I had such an interest in her, and I just wanted her to like me as a student and everything. And I was also going through a lot of anxiety related things in the 3rd grade, and she was just so nice. And I feel like now looking back, I feel like I was like had a crush on her low-key, and I just thought she was the best person ever. Loved her so much. She kind of looked like Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy, so just she has a special place in my heart now, and I feel like it was probably a little bit of a crush and not just I really liked her as a teacher, although she was an amazing teacher. My next sign is that I would always make my Sims gay, like always. I was obsessed with The Sims. I'm still obsessed with The Sims. I still make my Sims gay, but in the past I would like always make lesbian Sims or like gay Sims, and I would just like not show anyone my Sims, and I would like keep it secret. Now I don't keep it secret. I show everyone my Sims because I love my Sims. But yes, I would always give them a little lesbian love story in The Sims, give them a little family, give them a cute house, like every time. I loved playing with my gay Sims way more than my straight Sims. So that could be a sign. I mean, I liked that. I like to make my Sims gay, like me. Probably didn't realize it at the time, but yeah. My next sign is that in my preteen years, whenever my friends would want to invite boys to things and they wanted to spend all this time with boys, I was just never interested. I just wanted to spend time with my girlfriends, just us, our little group. And that didn't mean that I had a crush on my friends. I don't think I ever experienced that situation, but I just never wanted the boys to tag along. I wasn't interested in all that. I wasn't interested in dating the boys. I wasn't interested in having group dates like all the middle schoolers did with the boys. I just wanted to hang with my gals. So that could have been something to tip me off, though it didn't. My 9th sign is that there is a gay couple that lives close to me. Literally sweetest men ever. Love them so much. Anyways, I don't really know them, but they were just... Anyways, I took such an interest to them as well whenever I would go trick-or-treating during Halloween or just see them around the neighborhood. I just loved it. They fostered lots of children. It was like a real-life version of the Fosters, but I loved it so much, and I was so interested, and I just was like always very interested in them. And I feel like that could be a sign because I saw sort of myself in this couple in real life, and though I didn't realize it at the time, it was just very reassuring to me that these two men had their own little family and I could have that too in the future. And it was just very, very uplifting and encouraging to me, and I loved to see it. Still love to see it. Shout out to my neighbors. My 10th sign is that when I would play house or play with my baby dolls, I was never interested in having a husband, an imaginary husband. I was very into baby dolls. I always loved babies, always been so excited to be a mom. So that was a game I liked to play often. I liked to play house. I liked to pretend that I was a mother. However, I never was really interested in having like a husband and pretending that I was a mother and had a husband and he was the father and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like as I grew up and like in my later years playing with these dolls. Like I said, I played with my Barbies and my dolls a little bit later than most children, I feel like, but I feel like in the later years I would pretend that I had a wife sometimes, and I don't know why that didn't click. Literally, you're pretending that you have a wife and like, how did you not know? I don't know. I was just a bit clueless, I guess. My next sign goes way back, and I actually didn't think about this until last night when I was planning for this video. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that I used to do this. Anyways, I have a little brother, if you don't know, and we used to be so close, and we play so many games together. And one of the games that we would play is that we were like two bros, and like I was a boy and he was a boy, and we were like broing it up. And we were like very young when we did this. We were like, so just don't be alarmed. But we would literally walk around shirtless, and like he would do it, I would do it, and we would be like the bros just hanging out at the beach or whatever. Yeah. Heather, what? My next sign I didn't even think about until right now, but I just have to include it. I was obsessed with the movie Cheaper by the Dozen. If you've ever seen it, great movie. Love it so much. Anyways, there was this little boy in it named Mark. He was like the kid that everyone in the family hated, but I wanted to be that kid. I don't know why. I wanted to be him. He had a frog. He was, I don't know, he was just so cool to me. He lived in the coolest room in the house in that movie, and I wanted to be him. So another thing that's a little bit fishy, but yes, Mark, I wanted to be him. And my final childhood sign of my lesbianism that I'm going to share with you is that when the Girls Like Girls music video by Haley Kiyoko came out, I was at my grandmother's house, and we used to visit her in the summer because she lives a bit far away from us. Sadly, she has passed away now, but yes, I was there. We had just gotten there, and I was so obsessed with that music video. I watched it literally like 50 times probably, and I was like secretly watching it in my room there, and I was like so obsessed with it. So yeah, I was a bit too interested. Probably should have caught on, but I did not. Alright, that is it for this week's video. Those were my, I don't even know how many childhood signs that I was gay, that I am gay. Like I said at the beginning of this video, doesn't necessarily mean that if you do these things and if you're interested in these things that you are gay. The things that people are interested in and how they act don't mean that they are gay automatically. Being gay is an attraction to the same sex solely, like that is what it is. So don't freak out and don't automatically assume that if you do these things that you are gay. These were just signs for me. I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and if you have any other video or requests for me, you can definitely leave those down below because I like to make videos that you guys want to see. And thank you all so much for watching. I will see you next week for another video. Bye guys.